Hey good people, last time we launched in Puerto Penasco and sailed very slowly down to Guaymas. This time we're going to heat things up with some better wind and cross the Sea of Cortez to get back to Baja. It's Monday evening, about 5:45. We left Guaymas at 3 back there, just gliding along, 4 or 5 knots and 2 to 3 knots of wind. Coming down the sea, so we hope to be broad reaching across. Parent's a little bit high though. See the telltale streaming back. We're just able to carry our reacher. Freighter over here. The closest point of approach was 2 miles. Showing Dave how to interpret all that on the chart plotter. I could trim the main a little better. Or I could go make dinner. So peaceful here in the middle of an hour. A little bit of curling on that thing. Gotta work on the barber hauler. Shortened up the second leg of the outhaul, so this has got much more adjustment room in the outhaul now. You can see our barber hauler on the reacher clue. New spinnaker bag works perfectly, just the right size. I'm happy with that. Got a drain in the bottom. Got this from Drew Fry on the F-boat forum using climbing gear. Love this for barber hauling clips. 2 holes in the water. Windward holes out of the water. And our bonus tonight is going to be a big moon. Almost have the main trimmed. Sunset on the Sea of Cortez. Making the best of the little bit we get. The full moon sailing was excellent, super mellow, and it gave us great phosphorescence through the night. Here you see the new nav lights up against the cabin top. I love this location. It lights up the deck just enough to be safe. It's noon the next day, Tuesday. Sonoran coast is gone. See, we have 2 fishing lines out, but no action yet. But super excited because we are 2.5 miles out of San Juanico right here, which is the one that Anton and I came to a couple years ago. Thought it was maybe our most fun Anchorage. It's got cool hiking. There was good snorkeling, all kinds of fun stuff. We walked to a farm that's in a video from a couple years back. So I'm going to show these guys that place. It's really only a couple knots of breeze out here, so gave up an hour ago and turned on the engine. Oh wow, look at this path in the water. Oh, wind ripples. That was pretty amazing last night with the bioluminescence. I was going kind of crazy for it. I made each of the other 2 guys come up and look. Got Dave out of his bunk because it was coming and going, and when it was super bright I wanted him to see it. We got Christian to start his late night shift looking at that. Alright, let's get the boat into the Anchorage. Alright, it's blown a pretty solid 20, gusting up to 30. My intrepid crew was going to go for a shore ride here. That is the most ridiculous looking paddling. They did take a radio, monitoring channel 68, Ravenswing out. Meanwhile, Captain's staying with the boat, and I've got the 2 primaries off. The last 2 that I did not get serviced back in Penasco. The other 6 winches are all done. So we're going for it here. At least starboard over here and port over here, keeping them segregated, doing all the cleaning at once, and then I'll do all the greasing at once. Mainly because I only have one inch brush to do both cleaning and then re-greasing. All right, they're like 2/3 of the way. They're gonna make it. They're gonna survive. We're gonna go hiking. Finish cleaning. I do one, leaving the other one intact, so I make sure I got the order assembly correct. So this is all cleaned up. All this is done with mineral spirits. That's what Anderson specifies. Rods and springs get oiled. Everything else gets real winch grease. And then the bases are cleaned up. I've already started reassembly, put that one gear in before I got the film. And now it's time to clean this brush off and start dipping it in winch grease and wipe everything down with a light layer of grease. The wind has calmed way down. It's really pulling hard on the anchor a bit ago. I can see the dinghy over there. Shore party is off on a hike. That's good. And I'm here on anchor watch. So we initially anchored. That was at Triangles, us setting the anchor. Spent a good part of last night wiggling over here, over here based on the tide. And when it got super windy a little bit ago, in the outgoing tide, we were over here. And now we're working this section, wiggling around. I don't think we've drug. I think we're just swinging around my about 75-foot radius of chain that's out and the snubber. Do a little bit of this one-handed for the camera. Just take the brush, get a little bit of grease on, and apply it to all the teeth of each gear. Paying attention to Anderson's recommendations to not put too much on. Don't want any excess. 2 hours in, that one's done. This one I just bolted down the primary stem here, got that. And we've already cleaned the drum, the big self-tailor. Make sure we got our gearing right inside. This is first gear, that's second gear. Sounds great inside. Job done. Wind's coming down a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to get on the paddleboard, get off the boat. And the crew has just finished their hike. You see the guys waiting. The water's only a couple feet deep right there, and then we're in about 8 or 9 feet, depending on the tide. Our pasta pot, reach down there. Oh, yes. Our life is pretty good right now, except for this flash on my camera. Nice pasta meal. And a full moon. We're living okay, honey. Don't worry. We've just been on a full moon hike. We found the Shangri-La tree where all these cruisers have put their boat name artifacts up. And we even found the one that Daniel and Emma put up when Anton and I left here about 3 years ago. We'll barely make out Ravenswing. And it was hung there after we left by our friends Daniel and Emma on Indy. Oh, it was 2020 they were here. Okay. I think we were here in 21 though. Cool. Find the old stuff. Full moon night ops. Just finished our hike. Here comes the crew. Of course, ran into cactus on my shins. I need to go pull the stickers out. It's starting to hurt. Oh, are they in the water? No, they're good. I'm now drifting away. Time to put down the camera and start paddling. We left San Juanico. It's a downwind run. Reacher's up. It's pretty windy in the Anchorage, so we put the first reef in. And we're sailing with an F-boat. We've got Ptarmigan here from Colorado. 28. He's looking good. He's got a reef in, so do we. In paradise, baby. There's his bow over here. He's single-handing. Okay, our destination is that island over there, but feel the old grill lifter skirts up and go. So we hardened up the reacher halyard, sheeted in, turned up. Go to 90 degrees. Go ahead up, more left. That's where she really wants to run. And watch your boat speed. There we go. Got to figure out how to roll across these waves. Now we're talking. Give me 10. It's not crazy windy out here. Oh, yeah, south boat sailing. Gotta love it. As for the reef main that doesn't need to be reefed, I swear it's blowing harder in the Anchorage. We have white caps. Now you're sailing wind speed. There's his 10. Good. 10 and a half, 11. Fun stuff. Makes the steering tricky. And that was the best sailing of the whole 2-week trip from San Juanico, about 20 miles north of Loreto, over to Isla Coronados, which is the northernmost island in the Bay of Loreto National Park. It's gotta be a great anchor. We got a pod of dolphins. This is the southern anchorage on Coronados, facing the volcano. We actually stopped the boat and let a pod of dolphins go by before we approached the shoreline edge there to put the anchor down. It was amazing to actually have traffic. We're in the national park of the Bay of Loreto, sea lion colony. We're up here, Coronados, this little inlet. Big island, Isla Carmen out there. But here on the western slope of Coronados, we have the entire place to ourselves. At about 4:30 p.m. Feb 22. It's just getting warm enough. Swim. Hot bothered walking across the isthmus here. And we're anchored over on the other side of that walk, on the southern edge. Here's the walking path start for anybody that anchors on the south side of Isla Coronados. We're at the only little beach out here. And then there's a totally marked national park path that goes like a half kilometer over to the bay on the other side. Dolphins are playing with us right here. Hey guys. Not a bad day.
Yeah.
Holy Toledo. And that night over dinner, we got to know Bo and his F28 from Colorado. And we hatched a plan to go climb the volcano the next morning. I can just make out the mountains over there. We're going to pan around to Loretto Bay. This is Isla Carmen. Make it over there this afternoon. Just cutting out the wind nice here, but the view from the volcano top on Isla Coronados is totally worth the hike. Great view of the whole Loretto Bay area. Tricky Volcano Trail. Ooh, it's getting steep. I'm gonna put the phone down. Okay, clever humans have done rock cairns for us. There's one. The trail's pretty easy to see right here, but it's been a little trickier in some spots. There's a pile. I can see two more up ahead. So late February was a great time to explore. It was cool enough and generally mild conditions to explore deeper in off the water. On a ripping little reach, 7 miles from one island to the next. There's water coming over the leeward side here. It's the leeward forward hatch. We're in 14, 15 knots of wind. I like the view from the bathroom porthole. Take a chance and open it up. We might get splashed. Oh, it's not a good idea. Okay, getting too wet. And this is looking back at that volcano on our way over to Isla Carmen. We're on the hook in Puerto Ballandra, right up there. My intrepid crew is hiking the ridge. Halty hills only in Puerto Ballandra. And this is the Farrier 44 SC catamaran Mariana, built by Alan up in Hood River about the same time Ravenswing was launched. And I met her new owner Christopher in Penasco last year. Mariana, Orno, Ravenswing, and Ptarmigan. Raise a toast to Mr. Farrier for giving us these great birds. Going for a little beach party. Some of the folks are gathering wood way down there. Oh man, I'm excited because Bo's bringing a big cooler down. What does he have in store for us? That's a good sign. Okay, I got some baked beans and chili, a pasta dish. We should rock. And indeed, it was a great beach potluck. Crews from 4 boats, and of course, way too much talking about sailing. Never a bad thing though, with a nice fire and a comfortable evening. And thanks to Christopher for bringing the great craft beers he found in Loretto. Party's over. Alone tending the embers. Thankful for sailing. Boats at anchor. Moon's just risen. Looking forward to some more sailing tomorrow. Going into Loretto and hopefully getting a restaurant lunch because we've pretty much eaten all our food. Put my feet in the fire. You happy, Dave?
Very, very happy.
Nice. It's a little hard to get the tiller out of that guy's hands. It's our final dozen miles of this 350-mile trip. We're going to Isla Donzante down there. One more night, got an anchor. Oh, there's a whale right here. Hey, whale on the left.
Whale.
Oh.
Come up there.
Holy Toledo. I think there he is. That's not a humpback. I think it's a blue. Oh my goodness. Even better, the whale took our stern instead of freaking us out. Yeah. That's the town of Loretto slipping away. That was a big whale. She was about a boat length over here. Man. Love this sail. She can be trimmed just a little tighter. I'm gonna do that. I'm done talking to you guys. And tug on the leech cord that I can't reach. Darn. Checking out the bowsprit angle. Lowered it down today a bit. It's better. The mountains around Loretto or something else. This could be you, good people. Come take a Ravenswing trip. Just hit me up in the comments. We'll be sailing again this spring in the sea. Never had this kind of visibility. Should be good snorkeling this morning. We'll get the guys to go out around the rocks and all that. That's the entrance to Puerto Escondido. We're 3 miles out of the harbor. That will complete our cruise. Beautiful morning. I'm getting busy putting the boat away. All the man overboard gear's gone. Main has been fully put away. Actually, all sails are fully bagged and gone. We'll just motor in and we'll get her on the mooring. But in winter down here, you can get surprise winds, and today was just one of those days. We had lunch, a big wind picked up, and while we were packing the boat up to leave, we turned around and realized, oh crap, we were drifting fast. We headed right for these rocks. We actually banged the rudder on the rocks. Okay, so we were anchored. You saw earlier when I had to cast off this anchor in a second because it was holding us onto the rocks the way we were angled in here with the wind pressing. We motored off. Okay, easy recovery. Now that the wind is down, I was able to get behind the anchor, get her lifted up by hand. It actually wasn't stuck on the rocks. It was just the rope had been wrapped around rocks, but I could unwind it reaching over. But because I was able to run back with the motor, we're good. We gotta go back to Escondido. It's 2 miles up there. That's a relief. Didn't have to lose, what's that, like $600 worth of gear right there and not have a backup anchor on the boat. Okay, goodbye Don Dante for this trip. Tack Cat 340 with an 8-horse motor. I know it's a little confusing. This is the same motor that was driving the big boat during the whole trip. So after we drug anchor and threw it overboard, we took the boat into the mooring field and I transferred the dinghy motor onto the dinghy once the main boat was moored. And that's a wrap on our 2-week cruise. Dave here graduated with honors from his first long passage making, and he went home to LA to get back on his F32 build. I got to stop by his house a couple weeks later and I saw Bandit nearly complete. She is going to be a weapon. So with the Ravenswing safe on her mooring, I flew on to Puerto Ballandra and crewed in the Mexorc Regatta on a hot new J111. We finished on the podium. And after that Vallarta racing, it was fly to Phoenix, then take the long shuttle ride back to Penasco to go get my mini car so I could finally drive home after 3 weeks. What a nice spot. Stopped in El Golfo. It's basically where the Colorado comes into the Sea of Cortez, just up here a bit. Looking across northern Baja. I've been driving up Highway 3 for a couple of hours since Puerto Penasco. It's the top of the sea. Looks shallow. It's a pretty cool town though. beautiful Gulfo. Yeah, hike around. Stretch the legs. So all that mellow sailing, moonlight nights, great camaraderie, beautiful water and weather, it got us thinking, how about a rally of a bunch of high-performance trailer boats meeting up in Baja, going out and enjoying these islands and the Sea of Cortez? I know how to do this now, so I think I better put a plan out there. See what you guys think. Remember, don't stare right at the eclipse, and I'm glad you're watching here. Thank you.